decades, people have leaned on this wall here on the Malecón in Havana, Cuba. Hi, I'm Nick Gilman in one of my favorite cities in the world. But we're not here to talk about politics. We're here to talk about food because there's a new revolution going on in Havana, a great food scene, and we're going to see what's happening. We're going to go eat. So come with me. We're in a typical Cuban market in the Vedado neighborhood of Havana. It is a beautiful market. The variety of fruits and vegetables is amazing because it's all grown here on the island. They're not importing any fruits and vegetables to this island, so everything is fresh and in season. And it's really lively. There's a great atmosphere going on here. I love it. This lady has everything that's root. Okay. ¿Esta cómo se llama?
Malanga.
Malanga.
Eso es malanga en leña o malanga rosabana. Eso es boniato.
Boniato, which is sweet potato, or camote as we call it in Mexico. Buenos días, señoras. ¿Qué es que se venden aquí?
Bueno, aquí vendemos plantas, productos medicinales.
Workers in Cuba earn the equivalent of about $15 per month in Cuban pesos, so they're given libretas or ration books, allowing them small amounts of basic foodstuffs such as rice, oil, sugar, and flour, which are sold in this room annexed onto the market. Other relatively inexpensive foods can be bought with one's remaining pesos: beans, fruits, vegetables, and meat. But luxury items include chicken, fish, seafood, beef, alcohol, olive oil, and cheese. And these must be paid for with cucs, or convertible pesos, which in 2004 replaced the dollar as the currency used by all tourists or locals to buy luxuries.
That market made me really hungry, and unfortunately there isn't a whole lot of street food here in Cuba, but I found this little stand across the street that says pan con lechon. That sounds really delicious. There's only one problem. They don't have any. So maybe I'll go over here and ask this lady what she's... ¿Qué tiene de comer acá?
Jugo, mi vida, mucho jugo.
Puro jugo.
Puros jugos muy naturales.
¿De qué?
De naranja, de maracuyá, de piña, de fruta bomba, de manzana, de coco piña,
Wow, hay mucho.
de leche coco, variedades.
Dame una de leche, por favor.
Ahí tienes su leche.
Gracias. Delicioso.
Exquisito.
Exquisito. Gracias.
Se lo dije.
I knew Cuban food from my early days in New York. My mom and I hung out at Victor's Cafe on the Upper West Side, a haven for expat Cubans and their fans. Aromas of garlic soup, roasted red peppers, spicy picadillo, flaky empanadas, and fruity batidos were some of my earliest and most pleasurable foreign food memories. But on my first visit to the island more than 15 years ago, when I envisioned gorging on all these dishes, I couldn't find any of them. Looking around me, I felt lucky to be able to eat at all and didn't complain. Things have changed.
Los Amigos started as a humble paladar or private restaurant and has turned into something of an institution. The food here is fantastic. It's comida criolla, true Cuban home cooking, and the owner is a real doll. All the musicians come here, and it's my favorite place to eat lunch in Cuba.
Not everything is smooth sailing. Like everyone else on the island, a restaurateur's life is not easy. Shortages of taken-for-granted goods, such as tomatoes, onions, and salt, are commonplace. Blackouts are frequent.
We're here in my favorite paladar, Los Amigos, with Doña Elisa, who has been here for 20 years. Háblame un poquito de la historia del lugar, por favor.
Bueno, esta fue una historia muy bonita. Cuando autorizaron abrir este tipo de negocio, un amigo y yo, llamado Ovidio Acosta, decidimos poner este pequeño restaurante. Yo sigo aquí, como dice el dicho.
¿Y de dónde vienen las recetas? ¿Qué es la comida?
No, las recetas son mías, todas mías.
Es
Pero aquí todos yo los recomiendo porque la casa se lo asegura que todos son buenos.
Pues muchísimas gracias, Elisa. This is it, home-style Cuban cooking the way it should be at Los Amigos. I'm gonna have some ropa vieja, which means old clothes. It's shredded beef, arroz con gris, which is black beans and rice, sweet potatoes. I can't wait anymore, I'm starving. I'm gonna eat.
Mustn't be forgotten that in Cuba the majority will never enter this kind of restaurant and will barely scrape by on rice and beans. So it's a small miracle that this gastronomic revival, supported by visitors and the privileged few nationals who can afford the price of admission, is taking place.
We're here in Otra Manera, which means another way, and it really is another way because it is emblematic of the best of fine dining in Cuba. I'm here with Alvaro Diez, who is the owner with his wife of Otra Manera. Me has dicho que es un poco problemático conseguir cosas. ¿Cómo es manejar un restaurante de fine dining aquí en La Habana?
Manejar un restaurante, yo creo, en cualquier lugar es muy difícil, es complicado. Cuba es un país un poco también particular, pero es un país que nos está dando muchas oportunidades con pequeños agricultores, con pequeños fabricantes de diferentes cosas, incluso pequeños pescadores. Y entonces, bueno, ahora mismo es una situación bastante divertida, ¿no? Porque todos los días nos obliga a mover la carta, a inventar un poco de recetas nuevas, a jugar con lo que tenemos aquí. Y me parece que cuando hay un poco de pasión por este mundo de gastronomía en el que nos metimos hace ya muchos años, pues uno es capaz de disfrutarlo, ¿verdad?
Bueno, a ver, acá, o sea, sobre todo hacemos hincapié y mucho rigor en los productos orgánicos, productos frescos sobre todo, ¿no? Y mezclamos un poco la comida internacional con algunos, o sea, algún que otro concepto de la comida criolla, ¿no? Tanto en un lado, o sea, tanto en un lugar como el otro, igual tenemos influencia de la comida peruana, de la cocina mexicana, la cocina japonesa, todo bien fresco, todo bien orgánico. Y con cierta informalidad también, no vamos tras el concepto este de la cocina gourmet, ni mucho menos, sino de que el cliente coma bien rico, bien sabroso, que se vaya con el paladar.
Well, I'd like something rico y sabroso, so why don't we get to work? Vamos a trabajar. Mándame lo que quiera. Gracias.
Cuban cuisine is a fusion of Spanish, African, and Caribbean influences. Additions from a small Chinese community are found in certain dishes as well. The cooking is based on starchy tubers such as yuca, malanga, potato, and plantain, and the ubiquitous rice with black beans, which when mixed together is called moros y cristianos or arroz con gris. Architectural gems abound in a dozen different styles, including Spanish colonial, elegant neoclassical, Art Deco, and Vegas-style 1950s streamline. Some buildings are being renovated by foreign, mainly Spanish investors. Others are left to their slow disintegration. While superficially time seems to have stood still, it is just one aspect of this vibrant, swinging metropolis.
Doña Eutimia, here in the heart of Old Havana, is the new kind of paladar. They're doing upscale but traditional Cuban cooking. Hola Pedro Julio, el chef de Doña Eutimia. Háblame un poco de la propuesta del restaurante, de dónde vienen las ideas, las recetas, qué es la comida aquí, qué estás haciendo.
Las recetas de la casa son recetas tradicionales ya que abrieron junto con la casa. Son recetas antiguas de la señora que que de hecho es el nombre de la paladar de Doña Ortiz.
Hay problemas de como carencia de producto, de dificultad de conseguir productos o cómo es manejar un restaurante aquí en La Habana.
A veces, normalmente sí, a veces se nos complica un poco sobre los productos, por ejemplo, con las cosas en los agros, pero casi siempre se consigue el producto.
Gayatri and Mark are visiting here from Canada, and they somehow wandered into Doña Eutimia, and I wanted to ask them a little bit about the food. What do you think of the food here?
It's so delicious. So far, we've had the appetizers, and it's really been melt in your mouth goodness.
And what about in Cuba in general? Have you been eating, or you just got here?
We got here 2 days ago, yeah. We've really enjoyed the food. We've had a mixture of restaurants and street food, and it's been really quite lovely. But so far, I must say, this food's blown our minds.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. We've heard different things about the food in Cuba, but we've been pretty surprised by the restaurants we've been to. There's a great kind of new food scene here, I think.
That's exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Heladeria Copelia is an iconic institution. It was made famous by the film Fresa y Chocolate, and in fact, the only flavor they had the day I went was Fresa y Chocolate.
We're here with one of the partners of the Fábrica de Arte, Alexander, who is going to tell us a little bit about the history of this building. ¿Qué es la historia del edificio de la Fábrica de Arte?
Bueno, estamos en el edificio del restaurante El Cocinero, que comparte espacio con la Fábrica de Arte Cubano. Este restaurante está situado en un edificio de finales de 1800 que fue hecho para un generador de electricidad para el tranvía de La Habana. Nunca se llegó a utilizar y fue abandonado hasta 1930, donde fue headquarter de la marca de aceite de maní El Cocinero. Y después del enero del 59 pasó a ser propiedad privada como vivienda y hoy estamos situados acá desarrollando 2 restaurantes que son parte de la misma empresa El Cocinero.
Aquí hay 2 restaurantes, uno abajo que es más elegante, de fine dining, y el otro aquí en la terraza que es más casual, ¿verdad?
Sí, son 2 restaurantes con un menú un tanto ecléctico, puede decir alguien que se acerque a ellos, porque depende de una situación en Cuba que a nosotros nos ayuda y a la misma vez no, que es la inestabilidad.
¿Qué tipo de producto, de qué tipo hay carencia? O, por ejemplo, ¿qué puede ser?
Es muy difícil conseguir productos para horneado, quesos. Sí, importar queso brie, camembert sería una cosa parmesano, es muy difícil, pero sin embargo conseguimos unos quesos muy buenos nacionales.
Who would have thought I'd find tacos in Cuba, Mexican food? But this is good food in Mexico, and you don't always have to be in Mexico to have good food from Mexico. So let's see what a Cuban taco tastes like. Not bad, not bad. So I think we need to toast to Cuba, to culture, to the future of Havana. Salud, 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 salud. This is Nick Gilman for Good Food in Mexico City. See you next time.